Time is not kind to anyone, and Hollywood is certainly no exception. The faces we remember from our favorite sitcoms are not the same faces we see on the screen today. Whether through the natural aging process, cosmetic procedures gone wrong, or just the sheer weight of time, some of these beloved sitcom stars are virtually unrecognizable. Prepare yourself. Some of these transformations will shock you. Here are 25 sitcom stars who aged so badly you will not recognize them today. 1. Meg Ryan. Meg Ryan started her career on the sitcom Kate and Allie before becoming a massive film star. The Meg Ryan of the 1980s and 1990s was known for her fresh-faced look and natural beauty. Her infectious laugh and girl-next-door charm made her relatable to audiences everywhere. But over the years, her appearance changed so dramatically that some fans barely recognize her. The transformation is attributed to extensive cosmetic procedures, including significant Botox and filler injections. Her face has become noticeably frozen in expression, and the proportions of her lips have expanded well beyond their original size. In recent years, she has attempted to pull back from some of the procedures, but the damage is visible. What was once a naturally beautiful face has been altered beyond recognition. The contrast between young Meg and today is striking. 2. Courtney Cox. Courtney Cox shot to fame on Friends as Monica Geller and remained one of the most recognizable faces on television for years. The beautiful actress with natural features and a bright smile dominated the 1990s. But the woman seen in recent photographs barely resembles the Monica Geller audiences remember. She has undergone extensive facial procedures that have dramatically altered her appearance. Her face appears unnaturally tight, and her lips have been significantly enlarged. The wrinkles that naturally come with aging have been minimized, but in a way that makes her look more plastic than human. She has become a cautionary tale for cosmetic procedures taken too far. Many fans express sadness that such a naturally beautiful woman felt compelled to alter her appearance so drastically. The aging process is something everyone faces. 3. Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman made guest appearances on sitcoms and television throughout her career. She was known as one of the most striking and statuesque actresses in Hollywood. Her tall frame, angular features, and distinctive voice made her instantly recognizable. But in recent years, her appearance has changed so much that paparazzi photos of her have caused genuine shock. She appears bloated and swollen in a way that suggests either significant weight gain or extensive facial procedures that have gone wrong. Her face has lost all definition, and her features are almost unrecognizable. Some have speculated that she may have had overly aggressive cosmetic work done, but she has never confirmed this. What is clear is that the beautiful, striking woman audiences remember is gone. The transformation is so dramatic that many do not initially recognize her. 4. Cher. Cher appeared on numerous television programs throughout her decades-long career. She was known for constantly reinventing her look, but her most recent transformations have been dramatic. She has admitted to extensive cosmetic procedures over the years. Her face has been pulled, sculpted, and altered so many times that it barely moves when she speaks. Her cheekbones are unnaturally high, and her face appears skeletal. She looks less like herself and more like a caricature of what youth is supposed to look like. What was once beautiful has become almost frightening to observe. She has become the poster child for cosmetic procedures taken to extremes. Even fans who have followed her career for decades have difficulty recognizing her current appearance. The irony is striking. 5. Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley was stunning in her early appearances on television and in films. As the wife of Elvis, she was instantly recognizable and famously beautiful. But her aging and cosmetic procedure journey has been widely documented and widely discussed. Her face became increasingly tight over the years, and her lips became unnaturally large. Her skin took on a waxy appearance, and her facial features became progressively more distorted. She became known for having too much cosmetic work done and looking almost mask-like in photographs. The natural beauty of her youth is completely gone. She has become a before and after case study in cosmetic procedures that go wrong. Many people who knew her in her prime have expressed shock at how different she looks. She is virtually unrecognizable. 6. Brigitte Bardot. Brigitte Bardot was one of the most beautiful women in the world during her heyday. Her sensuality and beauty made her an icon of 1960s cinema and television. She was the definition of French elegance and timeless beauty. But her appearance in recent years has shocked many who remember her younger self. She has aged dramatically and very visibly. Her face is heavily lined and her skin appears weathered. She has not pursued the aggressive cosmetic procedures that many of her peers have chosen. Instead, she has let the natural aging process take its course. While this approach has led to a more natural appearance than some other stars, the result is still quite striking. The transformation from young bombshell to elderly woman is profound. She is barely recognizable in recent photographs. 7. Kenny Rogers. But over the years, his appearance changed so dramatically that it became a topic of public discussion. His face appeared bloated and swollen, likely from extensive cosmetic procedures. His skin took on an unnatural appearance, and his facial structure seemed to shift. He became known for looking drastically different from his younger self. In recent years, he has attempted to minimize some of the procedures, but the damage is visible. The transformation from his youthful, handsome appearance to his current look is striking. Fans who grew up listening to his music express sadness at how different he looks. His aging process was exacerbated by his choice to pursue cosmetic surgery. 8. Melanie Griffith. Plus today, Melanie Griffith appeared on television and in numerous films throughout her career. She was known for her beauty and her talent as an actress. She made no secret of the fact that she had pursued cosmetic procedures to maintain her appearance. But the results have been decidedly mixed. Her face appears bloated from lip fillers, and her skin has taken on a plastic appearance. Her eyes appear heavy and tired, despite the extensive cosmetic work. She looks older now than she did 20 years ago. The procedures that were supposed to keep her looking young have instead aged her dramatically. The contrast between her appearance in the 1980s and her current look is stunning. She appears almost unrecognizable in recent photographs. Her case is often cited as an example of how cosmetic procedures can backfire. 9. Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield appeared on numerous variety shows and sitcom appearances throughout his career. He was known for his deadpan delivery and self-deprecating humor. His weathered face was actually part of his comedic appeal, fitting perfectly with his stage persona. But over the years, he pursued extensive cosmetic procedures that altered his appearance dramatically. His face became stretched and unnaturally tight. His skin took on a plastic sheen. What had been a characterful, interesting face became an unnatural mask. The irony was that his original face, lines and all, was more appealing and more interesting than the artificially altered version. His cosmetic procedures drew criticism and ridicule. Many fans expressed that he looked better before the procedures than after. He became a cautionary example of how cosmetic surgery can diminish rather than enhance. 10. Joan Rivers. Joan Rivers appeared on television consistently for decades and was known for her wit and sharp commentary. She was also brutally honest about her numerous cosmetic procedures. She had facelifts, injections, and various other procedures performed on her face multiple times over the years. The cumulative effect was dramatic and often grotesque. Her face became increasingly skeletal and tight as she aged. Her skin took on a waxy plastic appearance. She looked less like a real person and more like an action figure as time went on. Yet she remained unapologetic about her choices. She joked about her appearance constantly, turning her cosmetic procedures into comedy material. What was striking was that even she seemed to recognize how bizarre her face had become. She became a symbol of cosmetic procedure addiction. 11. Vincent Price. Vincent Price was a commanding presence on television and in film throughout his lengthy career. He was known for his distinctive voice and his dramatic presence. His tall frame and strong features made him memorable and distinctive. But in his later years, his appearance changed quite dramatically. He became extremely thin and gaunt. His face became skeletal, and his skin appeared almost translucent. His eyes sank deeply into his face. Whether this was due to illness or simply the natural aging process is unclear. But the result was a dramatic transformation from the strong, commanding presence he had been. In his final years, he barely resembled the Vincent Price audiences remembered. The change was so pronounced that it was difficult to watch. He had aged more dramatically than many of his contemporaries. His final television appearance was shocking. 12. Liberace appeared on television variety shows and had his own television program. He was known for his flamboyant appearance and his extravagant style. His stage presence was legendary, and he commanded attention whenever he appeared. But his appearance changed dramatically over the years. He gained significant weight, and his face became increasingly round and puffy. His facial features became bloated, and he looked increasingly unhealthy. Whether from cosmetic procedures, weight gain, or illness is unclear. But the transformation from the dapper, energetic performer of his early career to the bloated figure of his later years is striking. The contrast is almost unrecognizable. His later photographs show a man who barely resembles the flamboyant entertainer of his youth. The change was so dramatic that it became a topic of tabloid speculation. He remains memorable for his music and his personality. 13. David Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff became famous for his roles on Knight Rider and Baywatch. He was known for his physical appearance and his muscular build. His good looks and athletic physique made him a sex symbol for years. But his appearance has changed dramatically over the years. He has gained significant weight, and his face has become noticeably fuller. His famous six-pack abs are completely gone, and his frame has expanded considerably. The contrast between the physically imposing figure of his youth and his current appearance is striking. He is barely recognizable to fans who remember him in his prime. His weight gain appears to be coupled with cosmetic procedures that have altered his facial appearance. The combination has resulted in a man who looks very different from the David Hasselhoff audiences remember. The transformation is one of the more dramatic. 14. Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett appeared on Charlie's Angels and became one of the most famous faces of the 1970s. Her feathered hair and striking beauty made her an icon. Her appearance on countless television shows cemented her status as a sex symbol. But her aging process was visible and dramatic. She aged noticeably as the years went by. Her skin became lined and her face showed the effects of sun exposure and time. She did not pursue the aggressive cosmetic procedures that many of her peers had chosen. Instead, she allowed the natural aging process to occur. The result was a visible and dramatic transformation from her youthful icon status. In her final years, she looked quite different from the young woman audiences remembered. She dealt with health challenges that affected her appearance. The contrast between young Farrah and her final years is striking. 15. Sharon Stone. Sharon Stone was one of the biggest movie stars of the 1990s and appeared on television regularly. She was known for her striking beauty and her sex symbol status. Her appearance dominated the entertainment industry for years. But her transformation over the years has been noticeable and at times dramatic. She has pursued cosmetic procedures that have altered her natural appearance. Her face appears fuller from injections, and her features have shifted noticeably. The wrinkles and lines that are natural with aging have been addressed through various procedures. The result is a face that looks different from her younger self, but also somewhat artificial. She has become more open about cosmetic procedures than some of her peers. But the transformation is still striking. Fans who remember her in Basic Instinct see a very different person. 16. Doris Day. Doris Day was one of the biggest stars in Hollywood history. She appeared on television and in countless films. Her bright smile and beauty made her one of the most recognizable faces in the world. She aged gracefully for much of her life, but in her final decades, her appearance changed dramatically. She became very thin and her skin became heavily lined. Her face showed every year of her long life. She did not pursue the aggressive cosmetic procedures that many other actors faced. Instead, she let nature take its course. The result was a woman who looked her actual age by the end of her life. She was barely recognizable compared to the vibrant young woman who had been an icon. Her final appearances showed a frail, elderly woman. The transformation from young icon to elderly woman was profound. 17. Dick Clark. Dick Clark was one of the most famous television personalities in history. He appeared on American Bandstand and numerous other shows for decades. He was known for his youthful appearance and his seeming inability to age. But even Dick Clark could not stay young forever. In his later years, his appearance showed signs of aging. His face became lined and his hair became white, but he aged remarkably gracefully compared to many of his peers. He did not pursue the aggressive cosmetic procedures that many chose. His appearance remained relatively natural throughout his life. Even in his final years, he remained recognizable as the Dick Clark audiences remembered. While he certainly aged more than he had in his youth, the transformation was natural and expected. He became a symbol of aging gracefully. His approach earned him respect. 18. Cher, aged appearance. The contrast between Cher in the 1970s and Cher today is almost impossible to comprehend. In the 1970s, she was a beautiful young woman with striking features. Her long black hair and dark eyes made her instantly recognizable. By the 2020s, she had undergone so many procedures that she appeared almost unrecognizable. Her face was pulled impossibly tight. Her lips were enlarged to grotesque proportions. Her cheekbones were augmented to an extreme degree. The natural beauty of her youth was completely obscured by artificial alterations. The transformation is so dramatic that photographs from different decades appear to show two completely different people. Old photographs show a naturally beautiful woman. Recent photographs show someone who looks almost alien. She remains one of the most dramatic examples of cosmetic procedure transformation. 19. Melanie Griffin, extreme case. Melanie Griffith in the 1980s was a beautiful and talented actress. She had natural beauty and a distinctive look. Her appearance in Working Girl and other films showed a striking young woman. By the 2020s, she had transformed beyond recognition. Her face was bloated from excessive fillers. Her lips were grotesquely enlarged. Her skin appeared plastic and artificial. The contrast between the naturally beautiful woman of the 1980s and the artificially altered version of today is shocking. She has admitted to pursuing cosmetic procedures, but the extent of the transformation is still striking. Old photographs show a woman with distinctive features and natural beauty. Current photographs show a woman who barely resembles her younger self. The transformation has made her virtually unrecognizable. Many fans of her 1980s work express sadness that she felt compelled. 20. Uma Thurman, dramatic shift. Uma Thurman in the 1990s was one of the most striking actresses in Hollywood. Her tall frame and angular features made her instantly memorable. Her appearance in Pulp Fiction and other films cemented her status as one of the most beautiful women in the world. By the 2020s, her appearance had changed so dramatically that paparazzi photographs caused genuine shock. Her face appeared bloated and swollen. Her once striking features were almost unrecognizable. The transformation was so dramatic that many people did not initially recognize her. Whether from cosmetic procedures, weight gain, illness, or a combination of factors, the result was a woman who looked dramatically different from her younger self. Old photographs show a woman with distinctive and striking beauty. Recent photographs show someone who appears almost unwell. She remains barely recognizable. 21. Priscilla Presley, extreme footage. Priscilla Presley in the 1960s was a stunning and elegant young woman. Her beauty during the height of her marriage to Elvis was legendary. Photographs from that era show a naturally beautiful woman with striking features. By the 2000s and 2000s, she had undergone such extensive cosmetic procedures that she appeared almost unrecognizable. Her face was pulled impossibly tight. Her features were distorted by excessive procedures. The transformation was so dramatic that old and new photographs appear to show two different people. The naturally beautiful young woman of the 1960s had become an artificially altered version that barely resembled her younger self. The extent of the cosmetic work pursued was extreme. She has become one of the most talked about cases of cosmetic procedure overuse. Many who remember her in the 1960s express shock. She remains barely recognizable. 22. Joan Rivers, extreme case, in the 1970s was a striking woman with bold features. She had a distinctive look that made her memorable and recognizable. Her appearance in early television work shows a woman with character and presence. By her final years, she had undergone so many cosmetic procedures that she appeared skeletal and artificial. Her face was pulled impossibly tight. Her skin had a plastic, waxy appearance. The transformation from her younger self to her final appearance was one of the most dramatic in entertainment history. She became famous for her willingness to discuss her cosmetic procedures openly. But the extent of the procedures left her looking almost unnatural. Old photographs and recent photographs appear to show two completely different people. The contrast was so extreme that it became part of her public persona. She remains one of the most infamous examples. 23. Brigitte Bardot. Brigitte Bardot in her youth was one of the most beautiful women in the world. Her sensuality and exotic beauty made her an international icon. She was the definition of timeless beauty. By her final years, her appearance had changed so dramatically that she was barely recognizable. She aged visibly and dramatically. Her face became heavily lined. Her skin became weathered and aged. She did not pursue the aggressive cosmetic procedures that many of her peers chose. Instead, she allowed nature to take its course. The result was a visible and dramatic transformation. Old photographs from her heyday show a strikingly beautiful woman. Photographs from her final years show an elderly woman bearing the marks of time. The contrast was profound and impossible to ignore. She remained a legend based on her past beauty. 24. Kenny Rogers, extreme transformation. His appearance in the 1980s showed a man in his physical prime. He was striking and memorable. By his final years, his appearance had changed so dramatically that he was barely recognizable. His face became bloated and swollen. His skin took on an unnatural appearance. The cosmetic procedures he underwent seemed to have the opposite effect from what was intended. Instead of looking younger, he appeared older and more artificial. The contrast between the handsome man of the 1980s and the bloated figure of his final years was shocking. Old photographs and recent photographs appear to show two different people. He became a cautionary example of how cosmetic procedures can backfire. His transformation was one of the more dramatic. 25. Rodney Dangerfield, final appearance. Rodney Dangerfield in the 1980s was a middle-aged man with a weathered face that was part of his comedic appeal. His craggy features and lined face fit perfectly with his self-deprecating comedy routine. His appearance was distinctive and memorable. By his final years, his face had been so altered by cosmetic procedures that it bore little resemblance to his earlier self. His face became stretched and unnatural-looking. His skin took on a plastic appearance. The procedures that were supposed to improve his appearance instead made him look older and more artificial. The contrast between the naturally characterized face of his earlier career and the artificially altered face of his later years is striking. Old photographs show a man with character and personality in his features. Recent photographs show someone who looks like a plastic doll. The irony is that his original face, flawed as it may have been, was far more appealing than the artificially altered version. He became a final example on this list of how cosmetic procedures can dramatically and negatively alter appearance.